Item Number, SCP-3850. Object Class, Euclid. Nickname, He That Floats. Special Containment Procedures. The area in a 10-kilometer radius around SCP-3850 is guarded by Local Task Force Dalit-16, Laplace Transform, and is currently off-limits to all civilians under the guise of an archaeological expedition. Description: SCP-3850 is a phenomenon centered around a body, termed SCP-3850-1, floating in Lake in the U.S. state of A thick fog surrounds SCP-3850-1 within an estimated 5-kilometer radius, growing thicker as SCP-3850-1 is approached to the extent that viewers are unable to perceive objects more than 10 centimeters away from them. When a person is close enough to SCP-3850-1, the fog will lift enough so that it can be seen. However, the fog does not lift at any distance farther than 1 meter from the viewer. SCP-3850-1 itself is the body of a Native American male floating face down in the lake. Although SCP-3850-1 never moves of its own power when under observation, it has occasionally changed its position in between observations so that it is perpendicular to the lake, its body contorted into the positions of a person floundering or drowning. Photographs of SCP-3850-1's face have been matched to an Abenaki Indian accused and acquitted of murdering his brother in 1925. Individuals who come within viewing distance of SCP-3850-1 are subject to a spatial anomaly which prevents them from moving closer than 25 meters to SCP-3850-1, regardless of any movement made. Although fuel measurements, speedometers, and ripples in the water indicate that movement is taking place, GPS measurements, satellite imagery, and sonar/radar detection show no movement. Moving out of viewing distance of SCP-3850-1 also moves one out of the radius of the spatial anomaly. 2 unorthodox attempts have been made to reach SCP-3850, once by a diving D-class and once by a skydiving D-class. The diver was unable to reach SCP-3850 but was able to retreat successfully. His bathymeter reached a depth of 25 meters before it stopped moving. The skydiver's altimeter stopped at an altitude of 25 meters, but audiovisual recording indicated that she was still falling. All attempts to retrieve her by helicopter were halted by the spatial anomaly. The skydiver's camera recorded for approximately 4 months before its battery died. The skydiver's body is currently visible and suspended above SCP-3850-1, though it appears blurry both in person and through viewing equipment as if moving at high speed. Addendum 3850-1, sonar observation of the area around SCP-3850-1 has shown the presence of a human skeleton partially buried at the bottom of the lake, directly below SCP-3850-1. The skeleton was retrieved from the lake bed via scuba divers, but dissolved into water immediately upon breaking the surface. At the same time, SCP-3850-1 sank to the bottom of the lake and landed at the same position where the skeleton was recovered, whereupon the flesh and muscle of its body dissolved, leaving its own skeleton. The water at its initial position on the surface was seen to coalesce into another instance of SCP-3850-1. Further attempts to retrieve the skeleton on the lake bed ended with the same result. However, small samples of bone have been recovered from the skeleton without incident. DNA analysis of the bone indicates that it is also of Native American descent. Since this incident, personnel observing SCP-3850-1 have reported hearing chanting from an unknown source, identified as a dialect of Eastern Abenaki, within viewing distance of SCP-3850-1. Attempts to recover SCP-3850-1 remotely are ongoing. Thank you for joining us here at the Stasis. If you want to watch more paranormal, SCP, horror, and no-sleep videos, be sure to subscribe and like this video.